Morning, guys. What a beautiful morning. The old sun, beautiful, huh? Breaking over the horizon. I got out while it was still a bit dark. It was just kind of breaking. Oh no, don't get up. You alright there? You want to cross over? Looked like you was about to walk out in front of that car. I was about to start stopping the car somehow. Crossing the road now. Anyway, how you doing it? Up and at 'em. Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's having a decent week. We change hands a little bit here. But the old sun, I got out before the old sun come up this morning. It was just seeing a little bit of light, and I always feel better for it because it's early and I got a good start on my day. So I hope everybody's having a good one. Morning. I hope everybody's having a great week. It's Thursday. Friday tomorrow. Blimey, eh? Bleeding zooms by, doesn't it? Well, I say it zooms by. Time doesn't go any faster, right? Unless it does and I don't know about it. Morning. Unless I don't know about it. But anyway, something I wanted to talk about. Because it came up. Been listening to a podcast again. I got into more of the music side while I was walking, and I thought, you know what? I haven't got on the old podcast for a bit. So I started out Monday, started to get some podcasts in, listen to Joe Beth's podcast, got started, and then and now I'm on some other ones that I've kind of haven't been listening to for a bit, so I'm back on it. Anyway, it came up about blame, and you know, there's two different blames in my opinion, right? Well, it's not an opinion, it's pretty much the reality of it, right? And that is we blame others and we blame ourselves. Now, when we're blaming others, and we're pointing fingers at others, are we pointing that finger and blaming others for our own doing? Did we do something and then our emotions get kind of wound up, and then we try to cover the emotions and not take it on? And why would we point blame? Avoiding something, yeah? Don't want to take it on the chin, so to speak. Don't want to be honest. Because if I'm honest, depending on your situation, what can that do? Right? What happens if you think you may lose your job, or you think that someone's going to walk away from you, or you think you're going to be judged, right? And the old ego will creep up and blame somebody else because it doesn't want that, right? So I always point fingers and go blaming other people for our own doing. And the best thing for it is to be honest with yourself. Literally own up to whatever it was and take it on the chin, because it's better to be honest than to blame someone else. Now you're walking around with that guilt. And then it comes down to blaming self. And this is a big one, because we'll always blame self, and sometimes we can blame self for other people's doing. Take the blame for it, because we can sometimes want that person to like us or something, so we'll take the blame for them, and we haven't even done anything for it. But what's it telling you? It's telling you something different. The story. Good morning. The story is different what you're telling your subconscious mind, because you're taking the blame. And if you're taking the blame and said, I did it, brain don't know any different, so it's going to take it, you did. Now the emotions are going to start coming with that too. Why else do we blame ourselves? Right? Why else do we blame ourselves? Blame ourselves because we believe we're no good, not deserving, not good enough. Maybe you've been pulled down so many times. Maybe you was always blamed. Maybe someone always kept pointing the finger at you. Growing up as a kid, you're to blame, your fault, you're to blame, your fault. Something happens, one of your siblings blames you, and instead of the parents sitting you down and talking to both of you and figuring it out, the blame comes straight at you. So now you're starting to blame yourself for things in adulthood, which you don't need to be blaming yourself for, because you're sending yourself that message and telling yourself that you're no good. So watch with your blames. Watch when you're blaming yourself, and be careful when you're blaming others, because why are you doing it? Why are you blaming somebody? And don't look at the surface of it all. Look deeper. You know, I was working with someone last night, and I said, don't look at the surface, look deep. What is it? What's the emotion that's coming up? Or what did you feel then? What was it? And then you find that, and then you go, right, what may be that, what's that covering? Or what's it kind of masking over, so to speak? What is it? And then you start getting down to the resentments and not feeling worthy enough, or not having a purpose, or made to feel like you're a nasty person at some point through someone else's mishap, the blame, then blaming you. And then you start looking at that. So what's your blame, guys? What's your blame on yourself? And what's your blame when you're blaming others? Because if there's no need to be blaming others, then look at yourself and ask yourself the why. Stay that course, guys. Namaste.